On our water levels tonight as they continue to drop drastically. Tonight, the combined lake levels at 14.9% as the city remains in stage 3 water restrictions. Now, this drop below 15% raising some questions tonight, like when would we enter stage 4? We do have Corpus Christi Water's Chief Operating Officer Drew Molly joining me live in studio tonight to break down some of those questions. So Drew, thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and start with this. Are we anticipating entering stage 4 sooner because of this? And are there other emergency infrastructure projects in place to deal with our situation?
Yeah, thanks for having me on tonight, Leslie. I really appreciate it. And what I will tell you is that we are working really hard so that we do not go into another stage of drought restrictions. We really appreciate the community. The community is stepping up as they always do when asked. And so we're doing everything we can to ensure that we do not go into another level of drought emergency, if you will. So one of the things that we have going on is we've been talking a lot about seawater desalination, which we have a project that's fully permitted. It's fully funded through the Texas Water Development Board. That's June of 28. And we all know June of 28 is still a little bit of ways away. And so we're working on some other shorter term projects to help ensure that we do not go into the next level of drought.
What do some of those short-term projects look like?
Yeah, so one of the things that we are working on right now as we're speaking is drilling groundwater wells. We know that the Gulf Coast of Texas has plentiful groundwater. Unfortunately for us in our part of the state, we tend to have water quality that isn't quite what you would find in other parts like Houston, for example. And so the water is good enough to where we can use it in the short term. And so that's what we're doing. We're drilling groundwater wells. We're using that water, basically putting it in the Nueces River and then ultimately conveying it to our water treatment plant, Owen Stevens, where we'll be able to treat it and then provide it to our drinking water plant into our distribution system.
Got you. And with this latest update, our CC Water residents and our larger consumers of water, are they doing enough to help with the situation? And if not, what needs to change about the messaging?
Well, what I will tell you is I go back to the community, and the community continues to step up. And what I can tell you is that our community is extremely conscientious about water, and we are using less water today than we were yesterday. And so these are steps that we're making. What we're doing is we're putting a lot of data on our website so people can see how much water different customer classes are using. We have a model that we update every 2 weeks. So actually today we just updated our model. It's available to our community on the website, our Corpus Christi Water website. And that model will predict when we would potentially enter in the next stage of drought. Again, hope we don't have to go into that next stage of drought, but it's up there for the public to see that.
Gotcha. I know we are wrapping up our time, but I do want to ask one more question. Because of our Water Woe series, you helped us with that. We dug into a lot of different topics, and as a result, a lot of different questions also came up. One of those that came up a lot from you at home, the viewers, was how the TCEQ mandatory releases factor into our water shortage. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the TCEQ is our regulatory agency, and there are some requirements that we have to abide by, and one of them is releases, right? We have to release certain amounts of water into the bays and estuaries. What I will tell you is when we hit stage 3 drought restrictions, which is less than 30% of our combined levels, we do not release any water to the bays and estuaries. So since March of last year, we have not released a drop of water to the bays and estuaries. The only water that we've released is water that we release downstream to our water treatment plant so we can provide that water to our community.
Okay, well, lots of information. I know this is a very ever-evolving situation, yes. So we really appreciate your time and joining us live, Drew.